In the headlines, an important day in St. Lucian history is remembered on Friday. The Ministry of Education hints at the reopening of school in September, and National Security Minister Herman Gill Francis reveals who is really behind the decision to extend the SOE. All this and more coming up in tonight's broadcast.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
It is Friday, the 19th of June, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News Edition on Flow, Channel 117, Kiss FM, and our Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Rochelle Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us. June 19th is annually observed as one of the most historic days in the nation's history, the Great Castries Fire of 1948. On Friday, the day was commemorated by the St. Lucia Fire Service. Acting Station Officer / Fire Investigator 2, Owen Casabon, gave details of the tragedy that occurred 72 years ago. He also detailed how the incident changed the course of the SLFS.
Today marks the 72nd anniversary of the most devastating fire which occurred on our beautiful island, St. Lucia. On June 19th, 1948, a fire swept through the city walls of Castries, destroying 75% of the business center of the country, leaving approximately 2,000 people homeless. To this day, no one knows for sure how the fire started or what may have caused this conflagration in the country's capital. Consequently, this fire, along with many others, have spurred fire safety regulations throughout the country. With the vision of preventing a fire of such magnitude from reoccurring, the St. Lucia Fire Service has established a Fire Prevention and Investigation Department. This department has the mandate to ensure that every building of public interest throughout St. Lucia meets the safety standards to operate. It is for this reason the public is reminded of the regulations stipulated in the St. Lucia Labor Code 2006, Section 233, Subsection 1. And it reads, an employer or a person in control of an industrial establishment shall ensure that his or her industrial establishment is certified every 24 months by the Chief Fire Officer. Having said this, the St. Lucia Fire Prevention Department remains committed to serving you.
The Castries fire burnt down 75% of Castries and left over 2,000 people homeless. In other news, following a stakeholders meeting, Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer has indicated that schools may be reopening come September 2020. Dr. Meyer says all instructions as to protocol for the various schools will be done on an individual basis and will be guided by the Office of the Chief Medical Officer. She says the discussion on Thursday, June 18th, will only the first of a series of meetings to ensure that the education sector is prepared for this shift.
On Thursday, the Ministry of Education met with various stakeholders to discuss a way forward for the education sector. Coming out of the meeting, Chief Education Officer Dr. Fiona Philip-Meyer said that all indications point to the full reopening of schools in September.
Yesterday, we were very pleased to have engaged in an initial discussion and presentation to our major stakeholders within the education system, reference the proposed reopening of school in September.
Dr. Meyer indicated that the plans for the advancement are being overseen and advised by the Office of the CMO. She says consultations are continuing with all stakeholders involved and all parties that are likely to be affected.
As mentioned, these are some of the initial discussions. We appreciate the need for engagement, for consulting, and to continue that process along with the individual school principals. I think that we all know that different schools would operate differently, and so this is why schools would have to present an individual instructional plan, because we have some of our schools with very small populations that could very well run the entire school, enforce social distancing protocols and not be impacted in any significant way. However, for some of our bigger schools, that's different. So at the moment, we cannot speak to all of the individual school plans that will be put in place. We continue to engage all of our major stakeholders, reference reopening of school, reference individual school plans as per principals and teachers. And as these become available, we would let the general public know.
The Chief Education Officer says that the well-being of students and the teaching faculty are of paramount importance to the Ministry of Education, and as such, protocol and safety measures will be enforced fully. In the meantime, while consultations continue, teachers and students are expected to begin preparing themselves to return to physical instruction under the parameters set out for the new way of life. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
National Security Minister Hermangild Francis has shared some insight into the discussion which led to the government's extension of the state of emergency for an additional 4 months. He says throughout St. Lucia's battle with COVID-19, the cabinet worked and continues to work closely with the island's chief medical officer to determine the best way forward, and in the case of the state of emergency, it has been no different.
According to National Security Minister Hermangild Francis, the intention of Cabinet was to extend the state of emergency for a period of 2 months. However, adjustments were made following discussions with the National Emergency Management Advisory Committee, NEMAC, during which he says the island's chief medical officer called for a longer extension.
Before we made that decision, we spoke to the CMO, who has been the person at the spearhead of this whole fight. A remarkable lady. And in the discussion with her, she said that, okay, you're going to reopen and so on, but this might happen. And if you just get 10 cases, it's a pandemic. We're in trouble. Okay? So you need the state of emergency here, that you can close the country, you can do things rapidly. Members of cabinet were not too happy with 4 months. We wanted at least 2 months. But the CMO said no. For her to be satisfied and to be safe, she wanted the 4 months.
Francis sought to further justify the government's need to access the powers granted under the State of Emergency Act, emphasizing the precarious relationship between the opposition and the Governor-General.
We know the relationship between the opposition and the Governor-General. Okay? It's the Governor-General that makes the regulations. And when the Governor-General sends the regulations, the Parliament discusses it. You think these guys haven't shown the sort of disgust and lack of respect for our Governor-General, that they would be willing to sit down and listen and discuss these other things? You have to be realistic, you know. They may do it, but they're going to procrastinate and do all sort of things. We cannot afford to do that. We need to have action immediately.
He underscored that the government maintains the ability to prematurely end the state of emergency if deemed fit.
If we are satisfied that things are going well, we can, without even going to Parliament, we can cease the state of emergency. That is the beauty about it. But if we just put it 1 month or 2 months, we have to go back to Parliament. And for these guys to procrastinate and talk all sorts of things doesn't make any sense.
Francis Rubbish claims that this has been a political move on behalf of the government. He says the time for politics will come, but now is a time for recovery. Jacko Wooding, Hot 7 News.
This coming Sunday is Father's Day, and the Hot 7 team gave the public the opportunity to send Father's Day greetings to their fathers and other father figures in their lives. Here's all the love for the fathers out there.
Hilary Little said, quote, "Dads are like chocolate chip cookies. They may have chips or be totally nutty, but they are sweet and make the world a better place, especially for their children." End quote. Hot 7 gave the public the opportunity to wish their fathers and father figures a happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all St. Lucian fathers and all fathers around the world.
To all the good fathers out there, have a great Father's Day.
Daddy, you don't know. Bless up, Fred.
Yeah, you don't know, Mr. JM there. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I would just wish you all a happy day. Enjoy all day, you don't know.
Happy Father's Day, Daddy.
Happy Father's Day to my father, Timothy Prosper of Lacomengo.
Happy Father's Day, Daddy. You've been the best daddy from since I was born. I love you. I wish that and I hope that you have a good day, a blessed day on Father's Day. And once again, you're the best daddy in the world. I love you.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Have a blessed Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to my daddy.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Enjoy yourself and live your life. Bless up.
Joseph Thompson, my son father, happy Father's Day. And Hilton Thompson, happy Father's Day. From Esther, I love you all a lot.
Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful fathers out there, and my wonderful and brave dad, Lucius Popo. I love you.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to my daddy.
Happy Father's Day!
Happy Father's Day.
I send in Happy Father's Day for my father in New York. I wish him all the best. Yes, and he's sick. I hope he feel a little better.
To all the Bopes, Happy Father's Day!
Happy Father's Day. Yeah, bye-bye.
Happy Father's Day?
Yeah. Happy Father's Day. Yeah.
The power of a dad in a child's life is unmatched. On behalf of the entire Hot 7 team, Happy Father's Day to all fathers out there. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, a local photographer speaks on the new legislation involving his line of work. 371 water tanks are donated, and Trial residents make an appeal asking persons to take better care of the beach.